I'm joined on the Crispin Flintoff show by Nadir Al-Nuri. How you doing, Nadir?
Good, I'm good. Thanks. Thanks for having me.
And James Hickey. How you doing, James?
Very well, thanks, Crispin.
Now, what did Nadir and James both have in common? I'll tell you what it is. They're both going on the Sumud Flotilla to Gaza, which is starting this weekend, I think. We're going to find out more about that now. Nadir, you've been central to this organization of this. Can you tell us about what's happening and when it starts and stuff?
Okay, hi Crispin, hi James, everyone listening.
I
Thanks for having me on the show. I'm Nadir from the steering committee of the Global Sumud Flotilla, which started the works in about 1 month and a half ago. So it's actually something new and fresh, and it is a continuation of what started all these years after the blockade started in the Gaza Strip in 2007, 2008. And that is the flotilla ships that were trying to break the siege and come into Gaza and open humanitarian corridors. So, what is being done today is not something new, but it is going to be new history because it is going to be one of the biggest and one of the baddest, hopefully, flotillas going into the Gaza Strip. And how this is happening is by having more than 50 countries joining in with hundreds of participants and tens of ships, and all of them are going all at once in a point that has been designated in the Mediterranean. The first fleet of ships will be starting from Spain on the 31st of August, tomorrow. And then another fleet will be moving from Tunisia on the 4th of September, and a few other ports that are in a few other countries. And all of these ships will congregate somewhere in the Mediterranean, and then they will move together towards the international waters and move to break the siege and open a humanitarian sea corridor into the Gaza Strip to stop the famine and stop the genocide.
Wow, incredible. And obviously, I can tell from what you're saying that there's some kind of secrecy about where and when, because
Yeah.
you don't want to give that information out because there's a lot of attempts to stop this before.
Yep.
It would be quite foolish to do that. Um, Now, James, you're obviously from the UK. What are you a good seafarer?
I have been on large boats, passenger ferries. I work in the UK. I'm based in Glasgow in Scotland. We take a lot of deliveries and do jobs in the islands that are around Scotland. However, I've never been on a sailing boat until a few days ago, and I am familiarising myself with the boat, been sleeping here, and I am trying to become one with the boat, so I'm sure I will be absolutely fine. I'm very adaptable, Crispin.
And I believe you went on the march to Gaza as well.
I did take part in Global March to Gaza.
Right. So every avenue is being pursued to get to break the siege, as Nadir was saying. Um, Nadir, what about you? Are you familiar with the seas and stuff like that? Are you at all apprehensive? I know you're organising it, but I mean, what do you feel about going on a boat all that time?
I feel awesome because I actually finished my studies in marine science, so I am familiar to boats.
All right.
Although I stepped into the humanitarian world quite early on, I did not work as a marine scientist, but we are familiar with boats. We have been on boats, we have been in fishing boats, we have had expeditions on boats, watched dolphins and all that stuff. But this is far more exciting, so it's a new experience that we are waiting to experience together with all these great people of the world.
I mean the enormity of that number, that tens you said of vessels from different areas.
Yeah.
That's going to be very interesting.
Yeah,
There's so
sure.
many vessels. Are they all being monitored in some way?
Yeah, we have a very interested plan of how the media is not going to be cut off, how the people will get news on a not even daily, it's an hourly basis of what is happening on the ships. We have plans in place to record everything that is happening, especially if the Zionist army intercepts the boats. So we will not be cut off from the world, and that is the most important aspect of this mission, where the voice of the world are the ones who will be protecting the people on the boats. So we are as strong as the voice of the people watching, pressuring the governments, pushing for an opening of the sea corridors. And of course, this is all being done without going against any international laws. We are not going through any waters, just international waters, then reaching the Gaza shores and bringing humanitarian aid. So there should not be any excuse to stop us, but that is depending on how the governments will react, and governments react based on what their people say.
Yeah. Are you apprehensive at all about this, James?
I would be foolish not to be slightly apprehensive. We all know how the Zionists behave towards people who stand shoulder to shoulder with Palestinians. We remember Rachel Corrie and Thomas Herndon. However, the risks we face are nothing in comparison what to the people of Palestine have been facing for almost 80 years now. And what option do we have? What can we tell our children? What can we tell our grandchildren if we allow this to continue for one moment longer? And we shouldn't need to do this. This is the responsibility of our governments who have abdicated all responsibility, ignored international laws, and they are even sanctioning the UN. The Americans have sanctioned her by under Donald Trump, Francesca Albanese. So we do appreciate the people we are up against, but we have learned the lessons from the people of Palestine. Their fortitude, their steadfastness is a lesson to us all. We sail with dignity. We sail for our sanity with a simple message of hope for all humanity.
Yeah. And Nadir, I mean, I've read that you've spent a lot of time in Gaza itself. So, I mean, it must be heartbreaking for you to see the footage coming in every day of where you were. I mean, all the rubble and stuff. That was a vibrant. Those were vibrant towns and cities in Gaza, weren't they? How do you feel about this? Must be very emotional for you to be thinking of going back there.
Yep. First of all, I have to state that I was born in Edinburgh in Scotland, and I'm being a fan of James' accent. He's bringing back memories of the old days. But after, of course, I've left to Malaysia, went to study here and there. And finally, in 2013, I went to the Gaza Strip. I stayed in the Gaza Strip for 10 years. I married a Palestinian in 2016, and she was the wife of a martyr, and she had 5 kids at that time. So I woke up on the day of my marriage. I had 5 kids. I have 3 other kids from her, and Alhamdulillah, I also have a granddaughter now. My granddaughter and my daughter are still in the Gaza Strip. My wife was evacuated last year. So it's not just about having that experience of living and seeing how Gaza develops, how the people like to have trendy coffee shops and malls and all these things that everyone else has outside of the Gaza Strip. They were reaching a point that they could easily say that we are not in Gaza, we are in, for example, Cairo, or we are in Amman, because of the developments that were happening in the Gaza Strip. And then all of a sudden, after 7 October, in just a matter of a few months, everything was back to zero. Everything was back to tens of years before 2023. And of course, we are not talking about buildings and stones. We are talking about the people there itself, who had dreams built, who were planning to marry and have children, who are planning to go abroad and study and then come back to serve their countries. These are all burnt into flames. This has all gone into smoke. And I feel the pain that the people of Gaza are feeling. And that's not just concerning my daughter or my family, who six of them have been martyred in the Gaza Strip since the start of the war, but it is the pain that is being felt all over the Strip, all over of Palestine, and all over the world from people who still have beating hearts.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I can imagine it will be very emotional for you to if you manage to get through. I mean, the fact that you've got all this media covering it as well, I I can't see how Israel can justify attacking this when we can see all the people starving. It's just insane. James, what do you think about how the starvation of people in Gaza has almost become accepted by the media here? I mean, there's no Bob Geldof for this, is there?
No, there is not. And I don't know where they find the cognitive dissonance to disassociate from this. This will haunt those responsible, their children, their grandchildren, their names and their legacies will be tarnished for generations because the normal, ordinary people of the world are completely traumatized. The pictures from Rafah, this dystopian post-apocalyptic scene, which is celebrated on Israeli media, and we constantly hear mainstream media outlets in the UK constantly they are ignoring, the reality that the ordinary man in the street is aware of, and I just cannot understand, where their humanity has gone, and if this is the future for all of us, then we will not be silent. We will not comply, and we will, resist this because this will not stop on the borders of the border between Gaza and Egypt at Rafah. Their plans, are imperialism, fascist white supremacy, and this will visit all their doorsteps if people do not act.
Yeah. Well, look, I just want to say that everyone watching this is behind you, and I hope we can keep up with your journey. And I hope what I'd love to see is the two of you meeting up out there and a picture of you two together.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much, Chris.
Thanks a lot for having me.
And I look forward to meeting up with Nadir if I have the opportunity.
Sure.
However, when we return, Nadir is more than welcome to visit Scotland again, and he will be offered my hospitality.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.